Secrets of the Maya. The study of caves and wells in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula is shining new light on the beliefs of the ancient and modern Maya. From deep in a well, near the ruins of the Maya city of Chichen Itza, archaeoastronomer Arturo Monteiro shouts to his colleague on the surface, I saw it, yes, it's true. Leaning over the mouth of the well, archaeologist Guillermo de Enda hopes to hear what he has suspected for many months. What is true, and Arturo? He shouts. Monteiro yells up again. The zenith light, it really works. Get down here. The two archaeologists are anxious to confirm whether this canode would have acted as a sacred sundial and timekeeper for the ancient Maya. On 2 days every year, May 23 and July 19, the sun reaches its zenith over this part of Mexico. At these moments, the sun is vertically overhead and there is no shadow. On the morning of their descent, on May 24, Monteiro and De Enda see that the sun's rays are nearly vertical. The day before, they realize a beam of light would have plunged straight down into the water. Beneath its narrow mouth, the walls of the canode open up to become a giant dome. It looks like a cathedral, except for the roots of trees that penetrate the rock. The beam of sunlight dances like fire on the surrounding stalactites, and it turns the water a beautiful transparent blue. The archaeologists were probably the first people in centuries to watch the sun move slowly across the canote's water. Did Maya Prius waits in the well, known as the Holtun Canode, to observe and correct their measurements of the sun's angle when it reaches the zenith? Did they come here during times of drought to make offerings to their water god and at other times to give thanks for a good harvest? These and other questions involving the Maya religion and its extraordinary accurate calendar are what the two explorers were investigating. In recent years, archaeologists have been paying more attention to the meaning of caves, the zenith sun, and the connotes in the belief of the ancient and modern Maya. Archaeologists already knew that the ancient Maya believed connotes to be doors to a world inhabited by Chak, the god of life-giving rain, but the significance of this fact has only recently started to become clear. De Ende began exploring Houghton in 2010. One day, inspecting the walls of the canal a few meters below the surface, he felt something above his head. He was astonished to find natural rock shelf holding human and animal bones, pottery, and a knife, probably used for sacrifices, all neatly placed there centuries earlier. Below the water, he saw a number of columns and Maya stone carvings. The well was clearly a sacred site, key to survival. 3 years later, in a cornfield on the surface above the canal, a crew of Maya farmers is working hard in the grueling Yucatan heat to pull the explorers out of the well. "That was a good rain the other day," says the crew's leader, Luis Oncan. As he wipes the sweat off his face, the Chak moved. For men like Oncan, the old gods are still very much alive. Chak is the most among the most important. For the benefits of living things, he pours from the skies to the water. He keeps in jars. Thunder is the song of Chak breaking a jar open and letting the rain fall. The Chak had moved, on Ken said, and that meant the planting season would soon arrive. Chak's absence can cause disasters for the Yucatan Maya, possibly the demise of the ancient Maya civilization itself. Their land is an endless limestone shelf. Rain sinks through the porous limestone down to the groundwater levels, and consequently, no river runs through the land. From the air, one sees a green sea of dense jungle, but at the ground level, the tropical forest appears very thin. Wherever there is enough soil, the Maya plant corn or milpa, a crop growing system including the corn, beans, and squash that constitutes their basic source of protein. But corn is a hungry crop. It sucks lots of nutrients from the soil. For thousands of years, Melbourne farmers have kept their small fields productive by burning a different area of trees every year and planting in the corn-friendly ashes. Friendly ashes. The pattern: no rain in winter so that the fields and forests will be dry enough to be burned by March. Some rain in early May to soften up the soil for planting. Then very gentle rain to allow the seeds to begin to grow. And finally, plenty of rain so the corn can flourish. Pleasing the rain god. In the village of Yaksuna, many people still depend on milpa, and an annual ceremony is held there to please the rain god. They walk a long way through the forest to a sacred cave and climb down to its center to bring up the water ceremony requires. They raise the altar, dig a large cooking pit, and provide 13 fat chicken for the ritual meal. They cook them in the pit so the steam can rise directly to the rain god as an offering. One reason such ceremony in Yaksuna was guided by Hopolito Perktame, a Maya holy man called He stood in front of altar praying for the holy blessing of rain. On instructions from the one of the villagers sat on a rock near the altar, blowing from time to time into one of the gourds, in which Chuck stores the wind. He was just one of the neighbors, but he was also the rain god, and he sat with his eyes closed as not to harm the ceremony with his terrible glance. Two other participants brought him to the altar, facing backwards to receive a blessing from them. Out of nowhere, a wind came up, and a thunder could be heard in a distance. As a ceremonial meal was being distributed, the rain started, a sign, the said, that Chark had received his offering and was pleased with his people's prayer. Soon, perhaps, the art would be ready for planting. Links to the cosmos. For the Maya, astronomy was a sacred activity, as were architecture and city planning. Dianda and Montero now thinks that the Hotun and nearby connotes may have played an important role in determining where to site buildings. The El Castillo Pyramid at Chichen Itza is aligned to the March and September equinoxes when the sun's passage makes a snake-like shadow slither down its side. The structure also stands in the middle of four canoes, where the white lines cross right, probably symbolizing the sacred mountain at the center of the Maya universe. It was also oriented to the moment when the sun reaches the highest points in the sky, far right, further connecting the cycle of the heavens. A place of prayer. Desperate for water for their crops, the Maya prayed to the rain god Chak from deep inside the canoe. They laid out offerings and performed rituals, which may have included human and animal sacrifices. Pots and sculptures found on the canoe's floor suggest that the Maya may have sacrificed objects by breaking them. In line with the sun, Montero and Dianda speculate that Maya astronomers waited inside the Hotun well for the 2 days in a year when a vertical pillar of sunlight pierces the water without reflecting onto the dome. On these 2 days, the sun rises directly to the northeast of El Castillo and travels over its peak. It then moves in an arc to northwest, yellow line below, where it passes over the Hotun Canal before sinking to the horizon.